Hey there, welcome to a new video, and today we have Raven by Kelela. I think that's I don't know how to pronounce that, but I think it's Kelela. And essentially this was a thing that people sent me in. It was a suggestion of an album, and I was actually very intrigued because well, I don't generally enjoy R&B, so when I went on Google and saw that this artist mostly made R&B stuff, I was like, I'm not sure I want to listen to this, because I don't really have a good history with R&B. It's not a genre that actually pushes me or that I enjoy whatsoever. So I was a bit skeptical, but I was like, okay, whatever, let's give it a shot. Let's see what the album is about, and let's see what the album has to offer us. And this is like a hour-long 15 song album. And it's mostly, how do I describe this? Basically, it's mostly like singing, and I can see why Google said that it's R&B, but it has a lot of focus on just electronic sounds. So essentially, the entire album is basically like these atmospheric electronic sounds with singing, right? And it's very stripped down. There isn't a lot, sonically speaking, going on in the album. It's very, you just have the sounds going on, and you have the singing. A lot of the sounds actually reminded me a lot of, at the beginning they reminded me a lot of the dreamy 90s drum and bass sounds, but only the atmospheric parts, more of the synth pop parts. However, throughout the entire album, what I kept going back to was I just kept picturing Fred Again. If you've heard Fred Again and you've heard these songs, that's kind of what I was envisioning, except this is more on the atmospheric side, whereas Fred Again is more on the house side of things, right? But essentially, it reminded me a lot of the same, and that's actually something super interesting, is that with this, I actually found it really interesting how well the sounds actually fused with the singing. They both created this interesting atmosphere. It's very not dreamy necessarily. It's kind of dreamy, but it's not necessarily dreamy. It's more very sort of out of this world type thing. You feel very, when you listen to it, you feel very just out there, in an empty space type thing. It's very just it's very intimate in the regard that it's just the song type thing. That's sort of the atmosphere that exists. It creates sort of these empty space where you just have a lot of you have time for introspection, basically. And I was very impressed with everything. I would say it's definitely an album that it's very impressed with. For the most part, I actually, again, this is my fault at this point. I don't know why, but I can never actually pay attention to the lyrics or understand the lyrics the first time around, which probably is not good when we listen to stuff that is a lot based on lyrics, and when it comes to this, lyrics kind of do tend to be important. So that's my fault. But even without the lyrics, it creates a very cool vibe. That feels very intimate and feels very introspective. It allows you to sort of just be alone with your thoughts in a way. That's sort of the vibe, the ambient that the album ends up creating, right? So I was, I never heard this artist before or anything like that, and definitely, again, with the R&B thing, I was like, will I actually like this? I'm not entirely sure. I'm a bit afraid, I've already heard the SZA before, and I wasn't really convinced, right? So yeah, I was a bit afraid, but then I come in and just actually this is really it's a very unique vibe as well. Again, I wasn't imagining Fred Again, but it's very that vibe of just singing, very, I don't know, the songs felt very empty in a way, because they're very toned down in terms of the instrumentalization and vocals that they have. The vocals are actually really good, by the way. I'm just saying, toned down in the sense of you really don't have a lot sonically going on, right? You can essentially picture every element, mentally speaking, and the vocals are actually really good, and I think that, again, the vocals do contribute a lot to that sense of that environment, that atmosphere that the sound is trying to create. Because it sort of feels the vocals feel very omnipresent in a way. which is actually like really good, because when you already have sounds creating sort of this, empty atmosphere that's kind of like introspective, having sounds that, or having the vocals being sort of omnipresent in a way, right, where you feel like they're just everywhere in the song, type thing, everywhere in that, space, that atmosphere that the sounds create, is actually like, it creates a very, very like strong vibe. It creates a very strong feeling, and I just feel that like, I don't know, it's really good, especially the vocals are just very clean. That's something that I've noticed. It's the vocals are like, I did not expect them to be this good, you know what I mean? I also, a lot of points in the songs actually also didn't exactly have a beat to them. They were more the melodies of like the synths, or not necessarily the synths, but like the electronic sounds. And I actually found that a very interesting direction, but one that, again, like, when you have everything be so stripped down, I think it's actually like a very, very positive thing. So all in all, I, sort of came into this perhaps with the wrong idea, and I guess I was positively surprised in a way, right? Because again, man, I don't know, like, I was listening, and as the album was going on, like, I just kept thinking about Fred again, and how sort of he does a lot of the same thing, where it's like, he uses a lot of the electronic sounds and people's vocals in order to sort of give these, this sort of distinction to a lot of these songs, and sort of like elevate the different parts of them. So I was definitely very impressed in that regard, and I honestly quite enjoyed the entire thing. I would say, I don't know, like, I still don't think that R&B is necessarily the type of thing that I enjoy too much, but I do think that for the most part this album also isn't very like R&B compared to what I've heard. I mean, I haven't heard like a lot of R&B, so I can't exactly say, but at the same time, it's like, I do think that, regardless if this is unique or not, I do think that I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I mean, like, in terms of my vibe meter is sort of like on an 8 out of 10, like a really strong 8 out of 10. So it was definitely an experience, and an experience that I definitely enjoyed quite a bit. So I think like an 8 out of 10 is pretty good. It's pretty solid, and enjoyed it quite a bit.